All right, let's get it. This is episode 208 of the No Hangover podcast. Before we get into it, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, rate, all that good shit. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram at No Hangover. Check out the fucking snippets, the reels. We're pumping them out. We're gonna have a lot more guests on, so just keep your eye out for that. Stay tuned. Speaking of guests, we got a fresh face on here, Tony Ros.
Yo.
What's good, my man? What's good?
I'm chilling. I'm happy to be here.
Man, I'm happy to have you. I saw you reached out to me, which, I appreciate that, and to come on, and I looked through, through your Instagram and through your page and shit, and you have a very unique style, to say the least, especially coming from Orlando, where there is, obviously there's different types of artists and different types of rappers, but there's kind of, to me, it seems like you kind of fall in either two categories. You're either like a drill street rapper, or you're kind of like that rock and roll type of like Lil Uzi, Playboy Cardi type shit. And you have like parts of that, but like it's definitely your own shit.
Yeah, 100%. I get a lot of my sound from like more of like a punk.
Spot in, like grunge type shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like most people will like think more like closer to like X, but I'm not like as hardcore as X. That's, you know what I mean? I try to bridge, I tell people this all the time, I try to bridge that gap between like the punk rap and the street rap. Yeah. You know what I mean? Kind of like to where like when you think of like street niggas and shit, like they don't really listen to that yelling stuff, but then also on the other end, they don't really like the street shit. So it's like I kind of try to bridge that gap.
Yeah, I mean, you do a good job of combining the two. If you listen to the lyrics, like you do be saying some wild, outlandish shit sometimes, but like you do also, to me, it seems like you do a good job of like, taking rap for what it is and like making it your own, like I said, and then adding your own style to it. What type of, outside, and you could add rappers into this as well, but like, who is there any specific artist or artists like growing up or now that kind of helped mold you to get to your style, what it is right now?
DMX. If we're going into rap, DMX, like you could kind of hear DMX a little bit. If we go outside of rap, like when it comes down to like, I'm a very big Nirvana fan. All right. Like I love Nirvana. And then I'm not gonna lie, even going back into it, my favorite song of all time is "No One" by Alicia Keys. A lot of people don't know. Yeah, I know. I know that went left. That went left. But yeah, that's like my favorite song of all time. I listen to a lot of other people. I liked A Boogie when he first came out. Like it's a lot of different type of things there. I recently kind of got into country a little bit. Word. So it's like,
country is
Right now it's on its way up. Yeah, you feel me?
And rap and country are like one and the same. They're both sides of the same coin. Like if you listen to it, like it's a lot of the same like subject matter. It's just delivered differently. Rap is a little bit more, aggressive, a little bit more on the edge a little bit, and country, kind of waters it down a little bit. But if you listen to what the fuck they're saying, both talking about fucking hoes, drinking, doing drugs, and having a good time.
Cars. Like, for real. In country they talk about trucks. Over here they talk about cars.
Like so it's all the same shit. Yeah. So that makes sense. I personally I still have a hard time getting into country. Like I like some of the older like folky shit, but like this newer stuff, like I get it, but man, it's just hard for me to get into.
It's just everything now I'm starting to notice has like a trap influence. Mm-hmm. Like even the new country, there's a lot of new country songs that now like they're not really using a lot of like, before it was a lot of live instruments. Mm-hmm. Now it's more of like the drum kits, producing and all that. It has more trap elements to it now. So
well, and I feel like this goes with a lot of things, but music and specifically, I feel like there's just a lot of just like crossing over, like producers not just specifying in one type of genre. Like they, if you can get a laptop and figure out how to use Fruity Loops or whatever, Pro Tools, whatever, like then you can make music for anyone at this point. Yeah. Which there's pros and cons to it. I feel like there is kind of like I said, the lines are being blurred between genres now, and there's not really like rap, country, pop, fucking dance, electronic music, house music, all this shit. Like it's all starting to blend together. Which unity is a beautiful thing. I love it, but like as like just a music lover, I do also like going to specific genres for that and not hearing something that I'm hearing over here.
So what I noticed with that is usually just the pop stuff in that genre Because obviously, like when you go into like other people that kind of influence me, like when you go into more of the underground in that specific genre, like I like Xavier Wolf, Suicide Boys, like, you know, when you go over there, you hear like the hip hop rap in that, or like if you go into like Griselda and stuff, like Benny the Butcher and stuff, it's a hip hop rap. When you go into more of the pop stuff, like Drake, stuff like that, they kind of bridge the gap. But each genre has that, you know what I mean? Like if you go into country, like their most popular artists is what, like Luke Combs, I'm not sure.
Morgan Wallen, dude.
Yeah, Morgan Wallen, Shabuzi right now. Shabuzi's a big reason why that's kind of molding too. You know what I mean? So like when you look at it like that, it's more just the pop stuff.
I'm wondering if Shabuzi is gonna be a one hit wonder or not, because that song is so big. That Tipsy song is so damn big. Like it kind of, when artists come out like that and their first song is so hot, like my first thought is like, how are they gonna come out and not necessarily top that, but just even compliment that shit.
At least, like you don't have to top it, but you have to get something close.
Yeah.
I mean, he has other good songs, but nothing has hit like that specific song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, even if he is a one hit wonder, he's gonna eat off that song forever.
Honestly, sometimes it seems like it's better to be a one hit wonder than, because like you can retire off that shit.
You literally retire, like, because literally, like he had a commercial in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That one song got him that commercial in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So it's like, just off of that one song, he's going to eat off of that forever.
Yeah.
So good.
Nah, for sure. Well, I mean, before we get into like all the more mainstream stuff, let's talk a little bit more about you. I've seen you, you know, from, you know, just trying to, the little time that we've talked, trying to, you know, get you on the podcast. It seems like you're pretty busy. It seems like you're pretty active as far as doing shows and shit like that. Is that your main way of getting yourself out there? Because I know a lot of other artists, you know, try to play the social media role and don't really, you know, pop out as much and shit like that. You know, did you just figure that's what's best for you, easier for you, or?
So I've noticed, like with me, my sound is more underground, right? Like I have friends that like their sound would sound better in the mainstream, but like my sound is more underground. So I noticed that for me specifically, the shows do help me a lot more. Yeah. Now, I still use social media. I still, you know, try to run ads for Spotify, stuff like that. I'm not a problem. Yeah. I have my own little sauce that I do too that I'm not gonna, you know, give out to everybody.
Can't tell the secrets,
but I can't tell the secrets, but you feel me? But like the shows do help me a lot. I'm really just trying to more get out of Orlando now. Word. Shows. Like I do shows in other cities in Florida, but I'm trying to get out of Florida.
Word.
You know what I mean? That's where my mind is at right now.
Where have you been anywhere outside of Florida to do any shows yet? I saw that you know, one of the reels that I reposted on my story that you were out in Texas.
I was out in Texas for South by Southwest. When I first started music, I'd done a show in Philly. I think those are the only 3 cities that I actually done.
Hey, shout out Philly.
Yeah, shout out Philly. Yeah. But I've done a show in Philly. Yeah. Those are the only 2 places I've been to outside of Florida that I've done shows in. So.
Is there anywhere, like, do you have a bucket list of places that you're trying to perform, or is it just kind of like get what you can right now?
I mean, I want to get where I can, but I definitely want to hit Phoenix.
Where?
I have a decent amount of people that like my music in Phoenix and Denver.
I'll bet. Yeah, I mean, shit. It's a good way to travel and get out there and shit like that.
Yeah.
How have you been working, you know, with you know, I see you work with other artists and stuff. Is there anybody that like you've wanted to work with in particular that you've gotten the chance to, or is there somebody that you want to work with that you're trying to build up to get to, or?
I mean, there's always people I want to work with. I literally just opened up for Rob Banks on Sunday.
I did. I saw that. Yeah.
Rob Banks will be a cool artist to collab with. I'll definitely be down for that. Who else? Let me think. Off the top of my head, when I was young, I used to be a huge Rick Ross fan.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to be a huge. I mean, my name's Tony Ros.
Yeah.
So I used to be a huge Rick Ross fan. So Rick Ross is definitely someone I definitely would want to work with. I've worked with Danny Towers on a couple on one song. I do have a song with Danny Towers out. That's somebody that I did want to work with too. Mm-hmm. He's from the city and everything. So
word, man. That shit's, you know, it seems like you're doing your thing. That's the one thing that, you know, especially as I have more people on, as I have more artists on, like you start to notice that like the hustle is fucking real. Like you really, especially with music, podcasting, it's a little bit more chill. Like, you know, I can run stuff, you know, I take more of the social media route. You know, I'm not too selective of who I have on at this point, but you know, I can, you know, be a little bit more selective who I have on and things like that, and, you know, run these reels and all this shit. But with music, you really got to be out there and fucking be in the people. Yeah, you got to be in front of the people and shit like that, because
it's annoying. It's annoying, bro. Trust me, it is. But
would you say you're antisocial? Or you got some, or like, is it what do you find annoying about it? I guess that's a better question.
People, like, when it comes down to like music, people are just weird.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people definitely think they're bigger than what they are. Sometimes. I'm not saying everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've definitely been in rooms with those type of people, and we talk like peers and everything. That's not a problem. But like, it just be weird sometimes. Like, sometimes, like, I'll be talking to somebody and then the conversation just ends and you're just there like, okay, all right, bro, bye. I'm out of here. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, all right, bro, if you
awkward.
really don't want to talk, like, it's cool, bro. Like, we don't have to. You feel me? And I really hate the whole showing fake love to somebody just so you can get a follow.
Yeah, I've been seeing that. I get it, bro. That is one thing that annoys me. Is like, bro, if you just want to fucking just follow me, I follow you. That's it. Like,
that's it.
You know,
we don't have to talk, man.
Yeah,
like,
for real. But
it's annoying, bro. Because like, all right, I'm a very firm believer on not begging people to support.
Facts.
If you like what I'm putting out, you're gonna support no matter what.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I tell people this all the time because I see people online all the time like, oh, it doesn't take much to like and share my stuff. That's fine, bro, but you gotta understand, your friends are not your target audience.
Yeah.
You feel me? I had to learn that the hard way. You feel me? Like, I have plenty of friends. They support me.
Yeah.
They come to my shows and everything, but I know most of my friends are not my target audience.
Yeah.
They don't listen to the type of music I make. So I have to understand that you have to learn how to separate that.
Facts.
You have to learn how to separate the personal relationships to fans and supporters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big thing. I think that was probably the best thing I learned doing music, honestly, is that.
How long do you think it took you to figure that out?
It took me a while. I wouldn't say a while. So I used to be a part of a duo. It was me and my boy Eris. And Eris does a lot more like kind of mainstream R&B. Like, he sings. He's a singer, right? And I used to do a lot of songs with him, and there would be times where a lot of people would be like, oh, I like Eris more. There's times where people say they'll like me more.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then, like, I also noticed that a lot of my friends, they listen to Eris type of music more than they listen to my type of music.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized that once me and Eris decide, we're still cool to this day. We still do music together and everything. Like, that's my brother.
Yeah.
Like, since ninth grade, me and him been like this. But we decided to split because of that reason. Because some people liked him, some people like me. There's times where people only listen to his part in the song. It's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
You think that built animosity between you guys a little bit, or?
Nah, never did not. Cause like there was a moment where my boy Eris, he went viral. He went crazy viral on TikTok. I'm talking about his song over 1 million streams, all that, right?
Shit.
And me, right? I was like, you know what? At the time, he was doing a lot more than me. I said, you know what? I'm gonna take a break from music. And I decided to manage him.
Oh, bet.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So like that takes a lot. I'm not gonna lie. You really gotta believe in someone for you to be like, nah, I'm gonna put my stuff on the back. Let me manage him and help him get to where he needs to be.
Yeah.
I stopped doing it because I can only take him so far. I'm not a professional.
Yeah.
So me and him did what we did. It did well. And then we hit like a plateau.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm like, look, bro, I can't really do anything else for you. At this point, I'm going to go back to my music and figure out what I'm going to do. And then we went from there.
Hey, that's some real shit, though. That's love for real. Like,
yeah.
That's some real shit. So, what's your process of, like, you know, making a song? Like, you know, I know I've talked to a few people that, you know, they listen to a beat first and then write the lyrics, or they got the lyrics down and then, or, you know, they got to, you know, get in a certain environment or do this. Like, what would you say your process is of making a song and putting some shit down?
So, like, with me, so before, back in the day, I used to do this a lot. I used to write a lot of songs on the toilet. It's crazy, but it's fact. Because they say you're your most creative when you're most comfortable, I guess. And I guess on the toilet, I was
on
comfortable.
On the fucking porcelain throne.
Yeah. Whatever, man. Whenever, you know how females always say that men take, like, forever in the bathroom? Yeah, I was writing songs. So,
hey, at least you're being productive, though. Shit.
Exactly, right? There's women that think that their man is cheating on them in the bathroom, texting other girls.
Like,
I'm writing
just
songs.
fucking putting some bars down.
Exactly, you feel me? But recently what I started doing, because I have a producer, my boy Evan, shout out Evan. What I've been doing is I go on YouTube now, and like I hate using YouTube beats, because one thing I hate is making a song and I hear another 5 people have the same beat and make a song to it. So what I started doing is I started taking YouTube beats, I'll record over it, and then I'll send it to my boy, or I'll go to the studio with my boy, and we'll record the song. He'll take the beat off and he'll make a whole beat around me.
I'll bet.
Yeah, so then it kind of fits me more. So that's kind of like the process that we've been doing lately.
But yeah, I mean that's a good way to do it too, because then you have, he kind of has a reference to what the sound is trying to be like, as far as the tempo, all that shit. So that's actually pretty smart.
Yeah.
But how long you been doing music for? How long you been rapping for?
All right, seriously, like taking it serious, I'm not gonna lie, I've been doing this for a minute. I recorded my first song in 2015.
All right. We're coming up on 10 years.
Yeah, so no,
I guess the 10 years.
No, it's 10 years. That's when I recorded my first song. I was messing around with it. I wasn't really taking it serious at the time for like the first 3-4 years. So I would say probably like 2019, 2018 is when I really started taking it serious.
Yeah.
That's when I started doing shows and really started doing more things.
And would you say that, like, what made you want to do it? Like, do you have like family that's like musically inclined and shit like that, or is it just something that you kind of picked up and it's like, all right, like I'm actually not too bad at this. Like, let me try my hand at it. So, all right, so I do have family musically inclined. My dad's a DJ. My grandfather was in a salsa band. Oh, bet.
When I was in high school, I had this boy named Mario. Me and him don't talk anymore. I don't even know where he's at, man. Like, shout out Mario, man, wherever you at, man. Hope you're doing well. But he was telling me that he would write lyrics all the time, and I had a creative writing class. So he would always show me his lyrics, and I'm like, I want to try it. Why not? So I found a beat on YouTube. I wrote a whole verse to it. He's like, yo, that's fire. You should record it. He put me onto a studio. Went to the studio, recorded the song. I'm not gonna lie, the song is buns. All right, buns. But
gotta start somewhere.
At the time, I thought it was the most fire shit I ever heard. You know what I mean?
Hey, you gotta be your own biggest fan sometimes.
No, for a fact. So I'm listening to it, I'm like, yo, this is hard. I think I have the song in my email. No, I think I deleted it. I'm not sure. But if I do still have it, I listened to it not too long ago, probably like a year ago, and I'm like, yo, this song is bad. This song is bad. But yeah, like that's when I started. Once I did it the first time, it's something about hearing yourself back on a beat, and like it was something so cool about it. And like I started doing music before it was like what everybody wanted to do. Yeah. You feel me? Like before a studio was so accessible.
Yeah.
Now you can just hop on your phone and record a song on your phone.
Oh shit, yeah.
You feel me? So back then it wasn't a lot of artists, so my stuff was getting a lot of love on SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My stuff was hitting like 5,000 views on SoundCloud. There was a moment me and Eris during the duo, man. Me and Eris was hitting like every song we drop at least 25 to 30K views on it.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
That's not bad, you feel me? But obviously the oversaturation, kind of stopped that. But
yeah, and that's the shitty part about it is that, although it is, the fact that the middleman is cut out and you don't need to necessarily go to the studio and you don't necessarily need a fucking an engineer and somebody to mix all this shit and do all this other shit. It's a beautiful thing, but then again, like you said, like we kind of touched on, before we started recording, the oversaturation kind of makes it hard and I'm a firm believer that if you're good, your shit will rise eventually. Like the cream always rises to the top, but like it just makes it that much harder because now, you're having to sift through so much more fucking music, so much more podcasts, TV shows, whatever outlet it is. And, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword in that sense.
Yeah, it's really just about, like, whenever I like, talk about this with people, I'm like, at the end of the day, you got to find out what separates you from everybody else.
Facts.
Right? Because at the end of the day, there's a million rappers out here. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Out of those a million rappers, one, maybe two. I always say it like this, all right? 1 in a million chance of blowing up, right? Out of that million, about 60 to 70% of them are not good. So you really got 30% that's in your competition. You're right. Like probably 10% will quit once things don't start going their way. They always do.
Yeah.
So you really only have about 20% that you really need to go up against, like to really get to the top.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that people don't really need labels, and labels are really messing up the game right now because all they're doing is signing people for one song. That one song blows up, the next song don't hit, they drop them. next. They just milking people for everything. So like that's really what's messing up the game right now. It's the labels.
Yeah. It is wild how easy it seems to be, how much easier it seems to be to get signed to a label nowadays. Yeah. Like, I talk to so many people. Yeah, I'm signed to this person. I'm signed there. I'm signed like one. It's like, damn, who the fuck are these labels? First of all, like, I mean, you would think that, you know, with all the information that's out there now and all the, you know, all the shit that's out there that on labels that they do people dirty, that people wouldn't be so quick to sign, but they see that fucking dollar amount, that advance, and they're like, they can't fucking help themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like all the shit that they know just goes out the fucking window, and then they end up fucking themselves anyways. And it's like, well, like, I want to feel bad for you, but like all this information's out here for you to not do that shit.
I always look at it. The thing is that I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of independent labels that are finessing people.
Yeah,
that's first because people just see an LLC and records or whatever, right? And they think, oh my God, I'm getting signed, bro. They look at who they have. They don't really have no other artists. So people are like, oh, I have this label. I'm under this label. The label's not doing anything for you. Yeah. Another thing too is that it also depends. If a big label does hit you up, it also depends where you're at in your career. If you're at the point of your career where you can bring out 100 to 200 people to a show, any show you do, you don't need a label. All you need to do is keep grinding. Yeah. But if you like, this is where it gets different with like other genres like R&B, rock, because for rap, there's some type of talent that's needed, but it's not like R&B, it's not like rock. Yeah. So like with R&B and rock, they can find someone that's a nobody and turn them into a superstar. Yeah. All they need to do is get writers for them. You feel me? Rock is a little bit harder, but really all you need to do is just have writers. Yeah. Writers and someone to build your brand up. Mm-hmm. You feel me? As for rap, they want you to already have the job done for them. Yeah. You feel me? And that's why I never understood why people sign, because I'm like, you got this far without one. You're already making thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know what I mean? So, you know, independently. Yeah. You could put that money back into your thing and become a superstar. Yeah. You don't need a label at this point. But
the fucking Russ method,
no cap.
He preaches that shit, which I mean, and again, there's a place, for labels, and there's still room for like there's still a fucking area for that shit. But like you said, like, it's so much easier to just, if you're already doing your thing, you're already fucking making music, you got the fan base, you got the following, like, fuck, like why fucking take profit at point? You're taking money out of your pocket essentially.
Exactly. Artists. Only thing that labels are good for is artist development. That's what I think. For artist development, yes, a label's good for that. Yeah. You feel me? Develop you, build your brand up, everything. If you already got your brand and everything right, you don't need a label. That's it. Thanks. You feel me? I'm gonna be on it, like, you don't need it.
Hey, you're hearing it here first, baby.
There you go.
Let me ask you one more thing about your music before we get into other topics. What do you find is the hardest part about writing a song, just writing in general?
Not making it sound basic. But also that's also like, to me, that's also like self-sabotage, because sometimes like I overthink stuff because I'm like, this sounds too basic. But then when I actually record it, it actually sounds good and it sounds original. But it's not really a lot of people. It's not really that hard to write a song. What makes it hard to write a song is when people write songs that don't really resonate with themselves. You feel me? Yeah. Like, only thing you can write about is your experiences. You feel me? You can't expect to go out there and write about somebody else's experiences. You feel me? Yeah. If you're not out here robbing people, if you're not robbing people, doing all this shit, shooting shit, right? You shouldn't be talking about it, because people could see through the persona. Yeah. At the end of the day, you feel me? Now with me, right? A lot of my music can be very vulgar, but the thing is with me is that, like, with music, I feel like I'm bringing people into my mind in a way to where, like, I'm not meaning that I'm really gonna go out and shoot somebody. I'm meaning like sometimes my mind could get chaotic. You feel me? Like, my mind be all over the place. This is how my mind feels. You feel me?
So you're writing more from the feeling more than the actual action.
100%. That's 100% what my music is. It's all about the feeling. That's why a lot of my stuff is aggressive, because I always say, like, I channel my aggression into music. Like, I want to punch somebody in the face. I'm not gonna do it because I'm cool, but I want to. You feel me? You feel me? So like,
yeah, no, trust me. I think we all get that thought. Shit, I get that thought at least once a day. It's like, God,
you
damn,
feel me?
Like, Jesus Christ.
So then you also go into like, I have some songs that could be a little depressing. I have some songs where I do talk about addiction sometimes. I have a very addicted personality, so I relate to that a lot. So I bring up all of this stuff that is just how I feel. It's not about what I'm really doing. Yeah. A lot of these rappers are really talking about what they're doing. Yeah, which is cool. If you're doing that, you're giving us your life story. That's on you. You feel me? Me, I'm just giving you what I feel.
Yeah, which I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think the one thing that I do kind of, I don't want to say don't like, but it's just that I think people take music too seriously nowadays. Yeah. So then that'll, lead people to do certain shit that might be out of character for them. Mm-hmm. And that's where, you kind of have to be able to, you got to be able to separate the music from the artist from the person, the music from the person.
No, 100%. And like, that's why, like, all right, I always talk about this, right? At the end of the day, right, when it comes down to music, it's not just the music, it's the brand and everything, right? When you see somebody, they're bringing you into their world. Yeah. They're painting a picture. The Weeknd, his picture is about being his brand, everything about his music is about being reckless, having a good time, but also it goes into a darker side of what addiction, sex, all of that stuff. You feel me? All music is just painting a picture in a world for people to go into. I always say that your biggest fans, for you to build a good fan base, you have to be the strongest version of yourself, because your fans are people just like you, but are not as strong to let it be known on what they think. You feel me? Yeah. So that's how I always look at it.
Yeah. You mentioned The Weeknd. Someone that also, it just kind of has been coming to mind as I've been listening to music, like early Tyler, the Creator, like when he was Our Future and Bastard and Goblin. I just had Analog on. It's one of my favorite songs from Tyler, the Creator. But like that kind of, that kind of your music kind of, not that it's his type of music, but just the way that you're able to put it out there, and the like you said, the image that you're painting and shit like that. Because I remember, and I've said this on here before, like watching the music video, watching VCR music video, like that shit, the shock value to that shit, it was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, and do I really think he's in basements fucking raping bitches and shit like that? No. But like when I'm a freshman in high school watching this shit, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? That shit is fucking wild.
He's building a world. That's all it is. He built a world. And like, he built a world to where, like, even though we know raping bitches in basements is not okay, he built a world that in that world apparently is okay. Yeah. You feel me? And we're looking at like, whoa, this is crazy. Yeah. You feel me? But like the thing is about Tyler, the Creator is in my top 5. Yeah. He's in my top 5. And the thing I love about him is that he's unapologetic. Like, I don't even know how to. I don't even want to say it because I'm gonna fuck up the word.
Unapologetically.
Yeah, look, you almost messed it up too. Yeah, right. He's himself. Yeah. You feel me? He don't care what nobody else thinks, and that's what I take most from him. I'm not gonna lie to you. My GOAT is Kanye.
Same. I mean, look at this right here. Fuck.
Yeah. I'm gonna get into Kanye and everything in a minute, but you feel me? Yeah, Kanye do be saying some wild stuff, and I don't agree with everything he says, but you gotta respect that the man. Some of the stuff that he's saying, if you really think about it, some of it, not all of it. Some of the stuff he's saying, though, the man is in the industry. Yeah. He's literally giving us everything on a platter, and everybody's calling him crazy. Yeah. You feel me? But he's too powerful. That's why they can't shut him up. Yeah. That's why they can't kill him off.
Yeah, and I think that kind of, and I mean, I think this plays into a lot of shit nowadays, that like people again will read too much into what a person's saying and not what they're trying to say, or like the message that you're trying to convey.
Michael Jackson literally, if you really want to think about it, Michael Jackson literally kind of went through the same thing.
I mean, he's the one that started, because he when he was in the 90s, he was buying Elvis's catalog, the Beatles catalog. Like, he saw like the bigger picture of the music industry.
He was exposing stuff too, and they couldn't kill him off in the beginning. Directly, they couldn't. Yeah, they couldn't, because that's why they tried to do the whole the whole him being a rapist, right? That's what they did with Kanye, saying that he's anti-Semitic. You feel me? So like, first they try to break down your character to where a lot of fans forget about you. and then they try to get rid of you somehow. Which you know.
I mean, they're doing the same thing with Drake.
Yeah,
and I mean, and it's and I'm a Drake fan. I appreciate greatness. Like the fact, like people always trying to hate on this and do that. It's like, man, like I just feel like if you can see something great in your lifetime, like why wouldn't you want to see it?
Like how I feel about Drake, right, is this, all right? It's like you said, separating the person from the music, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I can say, technically I'm a Drake fan because I listen to a lot of his stuff. Yeah. You feel me? Nothing Was the Same is a classic.
I think to me that's his best album.
If you're is one A, 1B between that and If You're Reading This Is Too Late for me. But I listen to those albums still to this day. Yeah. You feel me? I listen to a lot of Drake songs still to this day. Yeah. Just because he's a piece of shit person, you feel me? Just because this doesn't take away from the greatness, you feel me, from his music. And I respect it. You feel me? I respect everything. I do agree because there's a song on If You're Reading This Is Too Late. It's called You and the Six. Yeah. And there's a bar in there that he said that they keep asking me why I don't act tough is because that's not me. But then I do agree that later on in his career, when he got to the top, he did start acting tougher, and that's what made me like him less, because we know what we really know who Drake is.
Yeah, I think part of that is just that, I mean, he's been, if you listen to Drake, throughout his career, like he's constantly referencing, people constantly trying to bring him down, the higher ups trying to fucking take him down, fucking people trying to do this, the industry trying to fucking, sabotage him, which to me has never made sense, because when he was first coming out, like, you had all these big media outlets, everybody who was somebody in the industry saying that he's next up, he's going to be the savior of rap, he's going to be this, he's going to be that. And then when it actually happens, it's those same people that are fucking trying to take a shit on him and trying to see him fall, which doesn't make sense to me, because then, like, y'all were right then. Yeah. And now you're mad at him because y'all were right, and now you're trying to backtrack, and just that shit never really made any sense.
You just gotta look at the greatest in anything, sports, music, everything. They're always hated.
Yeah, for sure.
At the end of the day, they're always hated. You feel me? And that's why, like, also another thing too about Drake is, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, just the hip hop culture doesn't really want to, like, embrace him all the way, because of the reason that, he's
mixed.
Yeah, he's mixed. Exactly. They say he's not black enough. You feel me? He's not white enough, but he's not black enough either. So it's like, he's in that, and then he's Canadian. Yeah.
I think that might be the biggest thing, because like I think it hurts, like, more specifically American rap fans, that it hurts them, because like at this point, he does not need the States anymore.
No, he don't.
He doesn't.
He don't.
And he's been touring in Australia. He's been going everywhere else except the States. Yeah. And people, especially with his last beef with Kendrick and the lawsuit and all this shit, like, people want to, shit on him, saying he's using Atlanta, he's using this, he's using that. But it's like, at this point, and it's been years that he's transcended rap. He doesn't, like, he's bigger than rap, but he's still the biggest rapper. And I think, like, hip hop purists, rap purists fucking hate that, and it eats at them. And I'm like, I mean, how can you not see this coming? Like, even from So Far Gone, like, there were sprinkles of, like, how he, like, when he dropped Honestly Nevermind, and people were shitting on it, and why did he do that? But it's like, you can hear it in some songs in So Far Gone, some of the shit in Take Care. I mean, throughout his music, you can hear hints of, like, house, influence and dance influence and shit like that. So, like,
passion fruit and stuff like that.
All this shit has been he's been leaving breadcrumbs, and, like, the fact that it surprises me that people were so shocked and surprised that, he's done what he's done. Yeah.
Nah, man, Drake, at the end of the day, man, I like Kendrick, right? I like Drake's music a lot. Drake, like I said, as a person, all the relationships that he destroyed and everything, I see why people went against him now, because he did destroy. The man thinks with his dick. As simple as that. You feel me? That's what it is, bro. You feel me?
See, but like, and I agree, but I mean, tell me what big rapper doesn't. I mean, one of the most beloved people is Future, and everybody fucking loves him and praises him, but he's the biggest fucking fuckboy. And
he literally, that's his whole brand.
Yeah. But people will prop him up and praise him and say he's all this shit. But then, and I know a few people that have said this, that well, I don't want to hear a 38-year-old Drake rap about this shit, but it's like, well, you want to hear a 40-year-old fucking Future rap about the same shit? Like, people move the goalposts, and I think that's for me like why it's like, all right, well, pick what you're gonna stand on and stand on that shit. You don't move the goalposts because it's gonna work for your argument.
So you know what? I'm gonna say this about that, right? Because I was one of those people, but I don't think it's the fact that I don't want to hear a 38-year-old Drake rap about this. Is that I feel like Drake's music, instead of maturing, it went down. Like if we're talking about Nothing Was the Same, if you're reading this, right, the topic points, everything he's talking about, that resonated with us because we were younger. You feel me? Yeah. But like it was also more mature. A lot of that music is more mature. I'm not gonna lie. When you go back and listen to it now, it ages well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like a month or so ago that I went back and listened to Nothing Was the Same, and that shit, I mean, it's fucking from start to finish. That shit is fucking.
Bro, to this day, I go back and listen to that album, bro, and I find like I heard the whole album. I liked every song on the album, but then like there's certain songs that I didn't like as much back then that I love now. That's my favorite. Like the one with Jhené Aiko. That's my favorite.
That song From Time.
Great song. Yeah. Before back then, I listened to it and everything, but it wasn't like, oh my God, it was my favorite song. Yeah. But now I'll go back to the album just to listen to that song sometimes.
And I think, I mean, I liked it then. I like it now. Like but I think what made it great for me is that it fell in line so perfectly because Jhené Aiko was kind of having her resurgence again, and she came out with that Sail album, and it was kind of like the female version of Nothing Was the Same, and it was just very the contrast to both of them. I felt like the timing was perfect.
It was perfect,
and that song is fucking amazing. Song. But I mean, to your point, Drake's last like 3-4 albums, even like from certain, because honestly, Nevermind, I liked it from the jump. Like people were hating on it, I know, and obviously as it got more play and time went on, which I'm starting to see is happening. It happened with Certified Lover Boy, even though I had a big first week sale, got a lot of criticism. Fucking Her Loss, All For All the Dogs, even this most recent one, Some Sexy Songs For You, like the initial reaction is very negative and very, I don't want to like it, but like then you see the first week numbers. And then you see that, oh, well, he's the highest streaming rapper for this month, and then this month, and then this month. It's like people want to, you can say what you want to say about him, but like when people try and, for me at least, trash on the music, it's like, man, like it's undeniable at this point. Like you can't this shit ages like fine wine. All his shit, even like I said, his most recent ones that they don't get the best initial reaction, but like then again, the numbers are speaking for themselves. Like you could say all this shit, but then like when he's selling 4,000 or 4K copies in first week, I think what was it? Certified Lover Boy did 600,000 in the fucking. It's like,
and it's crazy to me. That's his worth to me. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. To me,
what, Certified Lover Boy? And trust me, I didn't. When I first heard it, I was one of those like, damn, like maybe maybe it is falling off. But then like I gave it about a few months, and I'm like, no, I was too much in the moment. Like,
no, I feel the thing is that the cool thing is to hate on Drake, but like,
for sure.
But the thing is like I always look at it, right? Certified, like most recently at least, his albums. He has a lot of his albums. He has like a good like 7-8 songs on it. I think what it is the oversaturation of music, because I listen to a lot of his albums. He be having like 20 certain songs. I'm gonna be honest. He cut 7 of those songs. It'll be a masterpiece. Yeah, you feel me? You cut 7 of those songs. It'll be a masterpiece. There's no reason to drop 30 songs on an album and 10 to 15 of them are not good or they're not the best. Yeah, they don't have no replay value. You feel me? Like the last one, I was talking to my boy about it. I like the last one, the Sexy Song For You. It's not bad. Yeah. It's not a bad album. All right. There's some forgettable moments on it. There's a good amount of forgettable moments on it, but the good songs on it are hot. Like the highs are really hot. Yeah. But the lows are.
Yeah. I think there's 2 songs on there that Spanish song, I forget, Mi Tre Padres or something like that.
Not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of Nokia. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. Yeah. I just don't like the second half of it.
But I think it's a great song overall. Like I like both parts of the song. Like even because when I first listened to it, my boy sent it to me. Like he's like, this is the song on here that's gonna fucking pop. And I listened to it. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. And then I'm catching myself fucking listening to this shit fucking 20 times in a row.
Catchy. I'm not gonna. It is catchy as hell. I catch myself singing it, and I think that's what makes me hate it. I think that's what makes me hate it the most, bro. You feel me? But also, like, I am also like a huge Kanye fan. Like, I think Kanye's the greatest.
Yeah, let's get into that a little bit, because especially now, like, he's like, he's been off the rails for a little bit and he says some crazy shit, but now it seems like he's just ramping it up. And I don't know if it's just because of the times that we're in that just, man, it seems like everything's fucking crazy, ramped up to a fucking 1,000. Like, everything just seems like it is, you're either with me or against me type shit, like very extreme. And he is very much playing into that, which, people will say he's crazy, he's this and that, and I agree, but there is a level of genius there.
Yeah,
there is a level of
100%.
like, you can say what you want about him, but you cannot deny the fact that he is musically and marketing is a genius. The same thing with Elon Musk. It's cool to hate on Elon Musk now and all this shit, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't do this, he did that, blah, whatever. But like, you cannot sit here and tell me that he is a dumbass. The people who say that he's stupid and he's dumb and is this, I'm like, well, okay, now you're just saying shit because
it's the same thing. It's the same thing that, like, all right, don't crucify me, right? But it's the same thing with, like, what people say about R. Kelly. R. Kelly's a terrible person. He's a terrible person, but you can't take away the talent.
Of course, yeah.
The man made a whole series of songs about being trapped in a closet and made it one of the best things that you ever heard.
They put their hand on the closet.
You feel me?
Took the hand off the closet.
You feel me? But like, you can't deny it.
Nah, for real.
You feel me?
Nah,
so
it's
like,
real shit.
I feel you. And like, the thing is like, also another thing too is like you said, people say he's crazy. At the end of the day, this man Kanye knows what he's doing. He has an album coming out.
Yeah.
He has an album coming out.
And people are going to listen to it.
They are.
People are going to listen to it.
And they're going to do the same thing they're doing to Drake, because they're going to want to hate it.
Yep.
And the thing about Kanye, like, he did this with Vultures. I don't know if you noticed this, but with Vultures on 1 and 2, he dropped them unfinished. Right? If you go back and listen to both of those albums, he revamped them. They're all finished now. And it's good. Both albums are actually good. Yeah. You feel me? And like, now that they're done, he does this all the time, man. He's going to come in. Right now, he's at the top. Everybody's talking about him. Oh, Kanye this, Kanye that. When he drops his album, it's going to do numbers. People are going to listen to it. They're going to come back and say, oh, I hate it. Cool, that's fine. Hate it, because it's not going to be done. And then 2 months to 3 months later, he's going to drop the finished version, and no one's going to know it's finished except for his actual fans.
Yeah, and that's, again, to your point, like, and we've mentioned this throughout this podcast already. It's like, you just got to be able to separate the art from the person, and like the like, again, like R. Kelly. I'm and this is a hot take on my part. I'm not really the biggest fan of R. Kelly. I think he's a little bit overrated. I Believe I Can Fly, to me, is one of the most annoying songs.
I feel you.
Fucking ever, but again, the talent is undeniable.
The man has one of the best voices when it comes down to air.
You cannot deny that. Whether you agree with what he did or not, that's a different fucking. If you agree with that, then we need to have a talk. But like, but again, people will try to and deny truths. Deny facts, and it's like, well, listen, again, you don't have to like the person, you don't have to like what he did, you don't have to like what he stands for, you don't have to like what he says, but Kanye West, undeniable musical genius, producer, he can rap, the amount of fashion icon, the amount of artists that he's brought up and he's made their best album. You can't deny that. R. Kelly, like you said, one of the purest singing voices of we've ever heard. Like, you cannot deny that. Now, should he be fucking pissing on 15-year-olds?
No.
Nah.
No.
Don't do that.
No.
But like, he can still sing his ass off.
Yeah.
Like, you can't deny that. Like, that is just a fact. Just like, and I think people get confused that if you have a major talent or you're extremely smart, that you should be this, honorable, outstanding fucking, which I think, if you're going to have that standard for somebody like that, you have to have that standard for yourself. Yeah. And a lot of people don't have that standard for themselves. But they think because you have a tremendous talent that now you should be held to a different standard to everybody else. Yeah. When you don't even hold that one standard for yourself. So I think that's part of the issue. and people just will now, because you can, and it happens in sports too, because you can throw a football well, or you can fucking get the hoop or the basket or the ball in the fucking hoop at a fucking high rate, that now like you're this fucking golden child. You have no demons, no skeletons in the closet, nothing that you have to get over. And then when that shit comes out, like you said, people are, waiting for that shit so then they can start fucking shitting on you and watch you fucking fall. Yep. And I think that's more a reflection of us as people than it is of that person. Like,
why do you want to see this person like fall so bad?
For real.
And it's crazy, like the fact that everything that we're saying about Kanye, right? I have a Mount Rushmore when it comes down to music, not just hip hop, music in general. Yeah. Kanye West is there. Michael Jackson's there. Bob Marley. This last one's interchangeable because you can go either the Beatles. But in my opinion, people are not gonna like this. But in my opinion, I put Elvis. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't like it because they say he stole black culture, a lot of this stuff. But at the end of the day, you gotta understand, Elvis was the first rock star. You know what I mean? Like, he was the very first rock star ever. He made all of that popular. Yeah. If it wasn't for Elvis, rock wouldn't have been what it became. You feel me? So that's why I like. And when it comes down to like Mount Rushmore in music, that's what I have right there. You feel me? Kanye's my number one in hip hop rapper, everything all together. People say that he's not the best rapper. Yeah, he's not a better rapper than some other rappers, but when you talk about hip hop all around, I give it to Kanye.
Everything as a whole, if you take everything into consideration. I will throw Queen in there as well.
Queen,
Freddie Mercury, I think, and I just saw a list the other day that, and I didn't really read too much into it. I didn't see who the people who voted on it or whatever, but they voted Bohemian Rhapsody as the greatest song ever. Which, I mean, it's a great song.
Queen. So the thing is with Queen is this, right? I definitely think, in my opinion, I think Queen is the greatest band of all time. Greatest band of all time. But when I think about my Mount Rushmore, I think of influence, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Freddie Mercury, Queen had a big influence, but I don't think their influence is as big as the Beatles or Elvis.
That makes sense. Yeah,
you feel me? So that's the only reason why I say it that way. Just like you say Queen, because if we're talking about all that, you got Queen, you got Nirvana. Nirvana really made the grunge sound popular. You feel me? You could really go into a lot more different people, but I gotta have Elvis there. I gotta put him there.
Did you watch that biopic of him?
Yeah, the movie. Yeah,
I heard it was good. I never watched it, but I heard it was pretty good.
It's good. It's good. I liked it.
It's hard for me to get into those biopics. Like I didn't watch the Bob Marley one. To me, it just like it's like, and it's the same thing with sports movies. Like when the movie might be good, but then when they get into the parts of like when they're on the field or on the court, like you could tell it's very like movie. Yeah. Like in the same thing with music ones. Like when they get into the booth or when they show them making the music, it just seems very like fake, cheesy, and fucking lame as fuck. I feel you. It's like it doesn't seem authentic. Like maybe that's how it came about or whatever. But like,
did you watch the Queen movie, the Bohemian Rhapsody?
Nah, I didn't. But I actually heard that movie was actually really good.
That movie's fire. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just so like, I'm such a music head. I'd much rather just like see raw footage of it.
Yeah.
Like all this shit. Like I love Pharrell. And there was when he was helping Justin Timberlake with his first album Justified, and they put out all this fucking raw footage of them producing and going through the process and making the biggest songs on there and shit like that. That's the type of shit I love to hear.
Not gonna lie, the Pharrell movie's fire. Piece
by piece. The Lego one?
The Lego one, fire. I love it. I mean, the fact that they made it Lego, like a more of like kind of fun, is, in my opinion, made it better. If they did more biopics like that, fire. Because of the fact that it's not actual actors and everything, like they can really like go into like how it just seems like
when people try to take it too serious, and it's acting and it's a craft, so I get it, but like it just seems like they're like trying to like it again. It just, to me, it takes away the authenticity.
They only really do that with like artists that died, if you really think about it. You know what I mean?
They did the Amy Winehouse one too, right?
Yeah. I didn't watch that one.
Me either.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, no, Pharrell. I mean, I don't know. You know who Ryan Leslie is?
Yeah.
Fucking, there was I forget, I can't think of the fucking name of the song off the top of my head, but it's like a 6-minute video of him like going into the studio, laying down all the fucking instruments, laying down his fucking, the whole thing. And I like listening to that more than I like listening to the actual song.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the type of shit that like I like listening to, and like just seeing the process of how something's made, especially when it's like a big song that blows up. It's like seeing it like from like its infancy to the finished product. I feel like to me one of the most, just like creative, like satisfying things to just to even witness.
Like you seen the Kanye documentary, right? Yeah, like watching it like that. Watching that, I'm happy they did it that way and not a biopic, because doing it that way, it was just like you said, it was like raw.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like you really seen like exactly how it was made, not just like them compressing everything into like a couple clips real quick. And then,
I do wish they would have gotten more into Graduation. Obviously, I mean that's first album I ever bought. That's my favorite Kanye album. And it might not be his best, but it is my favorite. And I just, that album just really takes me back to a place and like really fucking puts me in a certain, place in my life. And I mean, I was like, fucking 12 years old. It came out, but like, I remember going to Borders with my sister and like buying it with my own money, going to my room, putting that shit on in my fucking stereo and just listening, just laying down in my room, listening to that shit on repeat. And like, that's what really kind of like, for me at least, made me realize how much of a music lover I am, and like how important that shit is to me. I remember getting grounded, and I would negotiate my groundings with my mom. I'm like, listen, take everything away, just don't take my iPod away from me. Like, go ahead, take my PlayStation, take my phone away. I won't go hang out with my friends.
Whatever.
Don't take my iPod though.
Graduation is definitely arguably like his best. My favorite Kanye album is, this is going to be crazy, because a lot of people, when I tell them this, they be like, what? It's not. I know it's not his best album, but it's my favorite. Is Jesus.
Listen, I thought it was not good when I first listened to it, but then bro. And I mean, you could see how many people, how much it influenced rap, and not even just rap, just music in general. The
same effect that Jesus had is the same thing that 808s and Heartbreak had. When it first came out, people hated that album. People did not like it because but that album was so influential because he really, like, T-Pain, had brought the auto-tune and everything in, and like it made it popular and everything. Yeah. But Kanye really brought it into hip-hop and
when
rap.
You put it in the hands of a genius.
Yeah, you feel me?
That's what you're gonna get. Like,
and that's what Yeezus, in my opinion, when I listened to it, because I remember it came out the same exact day as Born Sinner by J. Cole. I'll never forget that. I was in high school. And everybody was listening to Born Sinner. And I'm listening to Yeezus, and I'm like, yo, like this man's a genius. I'm listening to it, and I'm like, bro, this man's a genius, bro. Like the way he used the 808s, just everything about like the production on that album. In my opinion, there was not a bad song on it. It's 10 songs. Yeah. Not one song was bad to me.
Yeah, he definitely he's musically, he's always 2-3 steps ahead.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, like you said, like at that moment, people didn't take it well, but literally 3, 4, 5 years later, it hits.
Yeah, I mean like you said, I mean his more recent albums are like that. Like you know, unless you really fuck with it, unless you really know what you're listening for and looking for, like it's gonna go over people's heads.
I hated Donda. I re-listened to it. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as what people think.
And
it's just a lot of songs on it.
He put the fucking what that little fucking
stem player?
Yeah.
For Donda 2. I never got to hear Donda 2 because I don't have a stem player.
Me either. But there's one of my boys, he's an internet plumber. He be fucking getting all the leaks and shit like that. So he'll send some shit through and it's like fire. That fucking, and not like, I fuck with Future. I'm not really the biggest Future fan. I think he has a certain cadence and a certain type of song that I like to listen to him on, and that fucking Happy song on Donda 2 is fucking hard as fuck. I was like, God damn.
It's crazy you bring up Future because I never liked Future.
Me, right? I've never really, and I've been openly and people want to say I'm a hater. I don't think I'm a hater. I think I'm just a realist with him, but
I really don't fuck with Future like that. I think a lot of people have him as like the Atlanta Messiah, you know what I mean? Like they love this guy, right? Young Thug's better. Just saying. Young Thug is better. I'm a huge Young Thug fan. Young Thug's in my top 5. So I'm gonna let you know that right now. He's in my top 5. And yeah, bro, I'm just never really seen like what people really liked about Future. He's pretty generic to me.
Yeah, I think. Well, and I think that's part of, kind of the reason why people like Drake a lot, and, a lot of these bigger artists is that it's, he makes music that's, pretty easily digestible for the most part.
Yeah.
Even though, I'm not the biggest fan of Future, like I said, there's songs that I like that he you know, once he gets in a certain cadence, once he gets on a certain rhythm, you know, gets in his flow, like he'll fucking ride a beat and it's fucking, that shit's hard as fuck.
I can't sit there and listen to a whole Future album. No, I'll tell you that.
Because that shit gets repetitive as fuck. It's redundant as shit. And I'm just like, all right, like I've already listened to the song 5 times, and the first version of it was the best one. Like, how else you want me to fucking But you know, again, a lot of people, and I know people that you know say that he's the greatest trap rapper of all time, and I'm like, man, like what are we forgetting? Young Jeezy, are we forgetting? And I'm not really the biggest Gucci Mane fan, but like, I mean, these guys are fucking T.I. Like,
I was about to say Gucci, T.I., Young Jeezy, Young Thug. I'm not gonna lie to you,
Jadakiss,
Jadakiss. You got I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not the biggest Travis Scott fan.
I love Travis Scott.
I'm not the biggest Travis Scott fan, but Rodeo is one of the greatest trap albums of all time. I'm a huge A$AP Rocky fan, though.
Yeah, I fuck with A$AP Rocky. You feel me?
I'm a huge A$AP Rocky fan. So.
I would like him more if he put out more music. Yeah. That's the one thing, is that he just, you know, he takes forever. And this last album has been leaked like 3 or 4 times already, and then he's just not ever put anything out, you know, so it's kind of like.
The man's he's technically a billionaire, so it's like, if I was him, I wouldn't really be in a rush either. You feel me?
No, he's chilling. You feel me? They had their second kid already, right? So he's fucking, he's chilling. I don't blame him, but like, he would probably be higher up for me if he did put out music more consistently.
Yeah, no, I feel that. But his first, when he came out with his first mixtape, it was like, in my opinion, was like, it brings me back to a certain time in my life because I was in high school. I'll never forget that I was walking through the hallways with my Beats, and I remember I had on these Beats, but my the cord into my Beats was messed up, so I would have to move the cord. It had a shortage, so I would have to move the cord a little bit so I can listen to it. I used to be like, all right. And I used to walk on my phone like this because if I move my phone a little bit.
You have to wrap that shit around your fucking phone. Yo, these kids don't know the struggle, dog. They got all these wireless shit. They got
AirPods and shit now,
Oh, man.
That shit brings me back. Yeah, to listen to Peso. Good time.
That's what I like about music, love about music the most, is that especially when you find something, especially at a certain point in your life, and it just, you know, you put that shit on, it takes you right back to that moment.
Yep.
Gives you that feeling, whether it's a good or bad, you know, whatever the fuck. But like, for me at least, like, even if it was a bad moment in my life or whatever, like going back, listening to an album and then seeing how much I've grown up since then, and the lessons that I've learned and the things that I took from that moment that I didn't realize were gonna help mold me into the person I am right now. And that's, to me, that's, you know, that's why, like, I love music. I'm not gonna, like, obviously we'll sit here and fucking debate and this, that, whatever, but I hate fucking arguing about this shit because it's so fucking, like, personal to you. Music is so personal to the person. So, like, a lot of shit, a lot of this new rap I don't really fuck with. I fuck with a lot of, you know, I fuck with Young Thug songs. I'm not really the biggest Young Thug fan. I fuck with Future songs. I'm not really the biggest Future fan. You know, all these things, but, like, I'm not gonna sit here and
hate on him
shit, and I just give my opinion on it. It's like, like, I listen to some of his shit, but like, I'm not like, I don't think it's this, I don't think it's that, but like, he puts out good shit. Like, they're big artists for a reason. Yeah,
they're professional. They do this, so it's like, it's not my type of stuff. It's not like, that's what people need to understand. You could agree to disagree.
Facts.
You feel me? People don't understand, and the internet messed that up. You're allowed to agree to disagree, man. All right, do not take it to heart. If I don't like something, doesn't mean you don't have to like it.
Facts.
All right,
I think a lot of people will make their opinions their personality, and that's something that I feel fortunate that I was able to find my own self, find my own personality, you know, relatively early in life.
Yeah.
So that shit never was like, all right, like, there were times where somebody said they didn't like a song that I played and they were like, oh, fuck, but I love this song.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, I mean, no big deal, like, whatever. But a lot of people will make, you know, liking a certain artist or liking a certain this, or, I mean, even more so now, like, you know, politics now, making it their personality that, like, this is who you are. If you do this, or if you think this way, or if you agree with this person or agree with this opinion, then you are everything that encompasses that. And it's like, no, I just might understand the point of view, and that's it. Like,
my boy always says a thing. He always says something. He said, if you have an opinion, you better be willing to die about it. He be telling me that all the time, bro. That's hilarious, bro.
But that's how fucking, that's a fucking a quote for this fucking time that we're in right now. Like, people are fucking just willing to fucking die on the hill, and it's like,
he was saying this in 2013, 2014. So that the fact that nowadays
ahead of his time, bro.
Yeah,
that shit is real though, and that shit is. And I'm someone that I'm very understanding. I'm very in the middle about a lot of things. Like even again, like I might not agree with it, I might not like it, but I understand. I'm willing to sit down and talk to somebody and hear somebody out, so that I can at least understand why they're doing something or why they're thinking this or whatever. Yeah. Because I feel like if you push that away and deny it, then you're just hurting yourself. Yeah. And you'll just let narratives build up in your head, and it might make sense in your head, but that's not necessarily what the truth is and what the real is. Like 100%. You got to be able to sit down and listen to somebody and talk to somebody and hear them out and be like, oh, okay, well, I still don't agree, but like I get it now, so like I can sleep. That's why I like conspiracy theories. Me and my boys be talking about it. I'm like, I be thinking, and bro, my boy is like this, right? He's like, I don't know if I believe it. I'm like, okay, but he's like, but at the same time, it could be for true. Real. Like, cause nowadays, like, we really don't know. He's like, he's like, this might not be real, but there's still a possibility it could be real. And then I sit there, I'm like, yo, you fucking right. You fucking right. But I feel like that's what makes life fun. Mm-hmm. I feel like too many people are too worried about knowing being right and not getting shit right. Mm-hmm. It's like, fuck, you don't understand how many times I've been wrong in my life, but like the fact that I'm like willing to go look for the right answer, that will erase the wrong anyway. If I'm wrong, like, if I'm wrong, please correct me, for bro. Real. Like opinions are like, that's the thing. Like I have an opinion, and I have an opinion about a lot of things, and they might be true and they might be not or whatever. But the thing is that like I'm willing to change my opinion with new information. Yeah. Like if I had an opinion about something and it was right at the time, and then new information comes out and it's no longer right. All right, bet. Well, like, let me read into this or let me look into it. All right, well, maybe I should move off of this, or, oh no, well, this kind of solidifies like why I felt the way I felt. But like, you know, it is funny to say like, you know, if you have an opinion, you better be ready to die about that shit. But like it you know, to me, it does kind of, that's a bigger reflection on what's, you know, wrong. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why a lot of wars happen, bro. I'm not going into it, but I'm just saying a lot of wars happen because of this, bro. Over opinions. Bro, fucking just little arguments with your fucking friends, with your family. Like people will stop talking to you over dumb shit. And it's like, man, like I'm not even saying I agree with this. I'm just saying like this is just the other side. Like you're saying this, so I'm just giving you the other side of it, because especially with me, like I said, I'm in the middle, so I'll listen to anybody. I'll listen to all sides of any argument, just so I know that when it's time to make my own opinion and form my own thoughts on it, I have as much information on it as I can to make the opinion that I feel like, or make the thought on what it is, whatever it is that I feel like is gonna, I don't know, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. You don't want to have an opinion. You don't want to come in and make an opinion on something and be ignorant about the situation. Right. You feel me? You gotta, because I feel that, because I mean, a lot of stuff happens. There's a lot of things in the world going on right now too, that a lot of people just don't like this, but they don't know anything about it. Right. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know a lot about politics. Yeah. So I wouldn't really like get into it. There's certain things that I hear that I like listen to, and I'm like, okay, I agree with this. Okay, nah, I don't agree with this. This is crazy. I don't know. I really don't know anything about politics like that. So I'm not gonna sit here and put my 2 cents into a lot of things. I'm gonna listen. Right. And if I hear what you're saying, and if what you're saying sounds crazy to me, then I'll be like, okay, that do sound kind of crazy. I'm good on it. You feel me? Like I don't believe in that. Or I'll be like, I mean, he got a point. You feel me? So like that's why like certain things you just gotta like sit back and just listen. Yeah. You feel me? And that's what I'm not really like, I've gotten more into politics as I've gotten older, and just because like that's, you know, it's in our face fucking all the time. So it's like at a certain point you don't really have a choice. So it's like, all right, well, if it's gonna be in my face, let me at least know what's going on. Let me like, you know, talk to people who are a little bit more informed than me and this, that, whatever. Yeah. The one thing that I keep on running across is that people just don't want to talk to each other. Yeah. And it's like, all right, well, and again, I'll talk to people on both sides, and I'll bring up whether I'm talking to somebody who's more left leaning or somebody who's more right leaning, I'll just play devil's advocate, because at the end of the day, I just don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. I feel like this shit it's so much deeper, but not that deep at the same time than politics. And it's like, I'm just bringing up the other side. So I hear you saying this. All right, well, this side is bringing this up. Or if you think this, then, well, this person said this. So then you got to think the same thing, because they're saying the same thing. And people will just be like, nope, you're wrong, this, that, whatever. I'm like, listen, I'm not I'm not saying I think one side's better than the other. I'm just saying if you're thinking this, then you have to think the same thing about this. And it's like people will fucking be ready to rip my head off about that shit. I'm like, listen, I don't care. Like, you're getting mad and you're gonna only be the only one that's mad because I'll still go to sleep fine tonight. But like, I'm just trying to like make sense of it. It's just a lot of contradiction and it's a lot of people trying to be on the right side of history of shit, or like again, just be right instead of just getting it right. They want to be right, and even if they'll get new information, they'll just stand on that and believe in that because they feel like this is what's right and what's righteous, and this is what's going. And you know, a million different things. But again, I feel like that goes more into just like people projecting their own insecurities out in the world and not really focusing on trying to work on themselves. And they'll find their personality in politics, or they'll make their personality in this. And it's like, man, like, and I said this a billion times, so if you guys have heard this, but like, you live with yourself literally every day of your life. Why would you not want to try and figure yourself out to the best of your ability? Yeah. No one is with you every day except you. So even if you're lying to the world, you cannot lie to yourself. And if you try to, then you're just going to be digging yourself into a bigger hole, and it's just going to cause more problems for you. And it's going to be harder for you to fucking accept things for how they are, not what you think they should be, because what is and what should be and what is are two different things. Yeah. Everybody should be living comfortably. Everybody should have food on their table. Everybody should have clothes on their back, because it's not like the resources aren't there. Yeah. But what is that not everybody fucking has food on the table. Not everybody has clothes on their back. Not everybody has money in their pocket. And whether I agree with that or not, you know, I can only do so much about it. So like, why am I going to fucking sit here and like rack my brain about it and fucking, like all this shit because of I'm going to be mad for somebody. And part of it is too, is that like, you know, a lot of these things are just a choice. People will choose to not do shit because they don't feel like it, or because they're lazy, or because something's too hard, or be whatever. And why am I going to be mad because there's a homeless guy on the street? Yeah, I might feel bad about it, but like, I don't know what that homeless guy did to get to that point.
There. You know, it's crazy that you say all this, right? Is because like, at the end of the day, everything that we argue about is all man-made, right? Facts. And none of it's really real, if we're being real. You feel me? Like, yeah, we have to live through it because of the society that we live in. Facts. Right? Because, like, I'm a very firm believer, right? I'm not going to lie to you. Me and my friend talk about this a lot, and we always say, if you really want to think about it, anything man-made is fake, right? It's really not real. The only thing that's real is the earth and that we're people. That's it, right? Really, if you really think about it, there's technically no such thing as good and bad. It just depends on your morals. Yeah. You feel me? At one point in history, people would murder each other, and that was okay. Yeah. People would fight it to the death in the middle of a coliseum for entertainment, and that was okay. Now, yes, we all know you shouldn't go out kill nobody. That's murder. You'll go to jail. Cool. But at some point in history, somebody made that happen. You feel me? If you really want to think about it, everything's just about how you grew up, your morals and everything. Yeah. You feel me? If you grew up a certain way, you're going to be this way. You feel me? What I just don't like is just like you said, people are just not open-minded with stuff, which is fine. Okay, cool. Now I understand when people told me, don't talk about religion, don't talk about politics. Keep that out of the...
Bro, people get riled up about that shit.
It's crazy to me, bro. It's so crazy to me because I'm like, I hear both sides. Yeah. And I'm at the point to where I'm like, what you're saying, right, could be true. Yeah. You know what I mean? It could be, but it also it's a possibility that it's not.
Yeah. And with politics, I get it a little bit more because like it is a little bit more concrete in the scope of like, you know, reality and you know what this reality is and things like that. But when people get all fucking riled up and fucking all fucking about religion and spirituality and shit, it's like, bro, none of us fucking know. None of us know. None of us have the slightest fucking idea of what is and what isn't, like in a spiritual or religious sense. So like, why do you fucking care so much?
I 100% agree because I look at people, right? I've had arguments with people, right? All right, for you, you have a God or whatever you worship. You could be a God. Some people believe in simulation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Bro, I halfway believe in the simulation at this
me too.
point.
Me too. Me too. So that's what I'm saying. But like, the thing is that I really do feel like, in my opinion, we all kind of worship the same thing, just have different names.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's it. Something like, again, the simulation to, you know, another religion is God.
Yeah.
You feel me? Some people don't.
Aliens, fucking whatever it is, but like at the core of it, it's a creator.
Exactly.
And at the core of it, all the same stories have the same general message.
All of it.
It's just different names, different settings, different parts of the world. But it's all like generally the same shit.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so like, oh my God, like
people that are religious believe in aliens to be demons.
Yeah.
But people that are not just look at aliens as aliens. So that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, we all believe the same thing. We just have different names for it. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, people are fucking wild, dog. We create our own issues, bro. That shit is wild to me. I'll never understand that shit.
That's why when they say that people be in their own world, we literally all be in our own world. We're our main characters of our own world. Whatever you believe is what you're gonna have. That's why I do believe in manifestation. Mm-hmm. Right? The reason why is because whatever you put out, you get back. In my opinion, you feel me? If you believe in God and you live religiously and you live by the book and everything like that, yes, you're going to have a pretty simple, easy life. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, it's faith.
Yeah.
You feel me? People that believe into simulation and more into science, at the end of the day, they go more down that road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They learn more about it. So which means it makes them believe it more.
Yeah.
You feel me? So that's why I'm like, at the end of the day, you get what you put out. You feel me? If you go to church every Sunday, right, and you believe in God and you go by the book and you believe that God is giving you blessings, you're going to get your blessings and you're going to believe it's coming from God.
Facts.
You feel me? At the end of the day, it's all what you do. You know what I mean?
And I just I think the one thing that I think kind of I don't want to say bother me, but it's just kind of like, well, that's a little weird, like especially just with like religious people. And, you know, I'm all for fucking have faith in something.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't have faith in anything, to me, is a lost person.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's
100%.
like, but it's, you know, when people, and it's more, I guess, like, well, I guess it's in Islamic religions, Christianity, all that shit. But it's like, you have to accept whatever as your Lord and Savior, or else you're not going to heaven or whatever. And it's like, well, what about the person who does good by people, does all the same things that you're preaching, but you know, might be a little bit more spiritual, or
might not believe it,
or might be, you know, might just believe in science and believes in the universe and all this shit. Mm-hmm. Like, why wouldn't they make it to whatever utopia or whatever the final destination is over somebody who is a fucking sack of shit, but I accept this person as my Lord and Savior, so I'm good to go. So like that for me, that's the biggest thing. Like, hey, believe in God, believe in Jesus and Muhammad and fucking Allah, whatever, you know, whatever title you want to put on it, but like, you know, that gives people a reason to justify their shitty actions or their shitty outlook on life, as opposed to somebody who might not believe in that shit, but is a fucking pure fucking sweetheart that'll take the shirt off their back for a fucking random stranger. But because they don't believe or they don't, you know, subscribe to a certain ideology, they're gonna fucking burn in whatever fucking inferno. It's like,
oh yeah, like I always,
that don't make any sense.
It don't. I always told my friend, man, like I always told my boy, I do believe in a higher power, right?
Facts.
I do believe in a higher power. Mm-hmm. What I don't agree with a lot, I don't agree with religion, because I feel like a lot of religion, unfortunately, is just, I don't believe in man-made religion.
It's a power grab, essentially.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't believe in man-made religion because I feel like, you feel me? At the end of the day, a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't judge this, that. But religion is mostly about judging other people. You feel me?
Judgmental as fuck.
So it's like you're kind of contradicting yourself. Yeah. So that's why I just don't believe in man-made religion. I do believe, if my friend tell me, oh, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. All right.
Bet.
All right. I probably do too. You feel me? I don't know. Extent, you feel me? Exactly. I might have a different name for it, but I probably do too. You feel me? So, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's just like, I believe that people could worship in their own way. Yeah. I don't think it has to be organized.
Yeah, but and I agree with that. But on the opposite side of that, like somebody who will, because I'm starting to see that it is becoming a lot more taboo to even bring up religion, and people will be like, "What? Like, what the fuck? Like, you're fucking." And it's like, well, you know, if you don't believe in it, that's fine. But you don't have to shit on somebody who does. And
no,
like,
never.
If that's their belief system, then like that's their belief system.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
So I'm sure the same person who's saying that has some fucking weird fucking idea about something that they're fucking, yep, I believe it to be true. And even though it sounds fucking crazy and it sounds outlandish as shit, just like some dude in the clouds is looking down on us, sounds fucking crazy. Like, we all have fucking weird fucking crazy shit that we think of that sounds fucking great in our head and sounds right, and we're gonna believe it and whatever. So it's like, I just, again, like you're telling, like, obviously, like, yeah, it sounds crazy, but also say if I believe in the simulation, someone like me saying that I believe in the simulation, it sounds crazy that we're all connected to computers. That sounds crazy too. At the end of the day, no matter what we say, it's going to be crazy. It sounds crazy that people believe that there's aliens in the water. It sounds crazy and that could be fucking true. Like, we don't know shit about the ocean. So it could be true that there's some fucking advanced race of alien or whatever that is so much more advanced than us that they found a way to, or whatever the fuck it is but like, I think one of the things that fucks us as humans is that we think we know more than what we actually do. And there's always somebody trying to be that person to figure it out instead of just accepting the fact that we will never fucking know, and that's okay. Like, just be okay with not knowing. That's a fact. Like, you don't need to know everything, because and most of the smart people, like the actual like intelligent smart people that I know, sometimes are fucking some of the saddest people. Yeah, because they're just constantly racking their brain and trying to figure things out and knowing too much and all that. Like, ignorance is bliss, bro. Man, sometimes I'm jealous of a little baby because they don't know shit. They're just over here goo goo gaga and
when we were kids,
enjoying life, bro.
The way enjoying life as kids. Yeah, no, trust me, I feel you on that, because like, I don't know, man. I watch anime, right? So like, I don't know if you're into anime at all.
I watch it. There was a phase, but like, I don't really get it. I haven't gotten into it that much, but I fuck with anime. I like cartoons, so
like, I've watched. I don't know if you ever seen Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
No, but I heard of it.
Okay, yeah. Well, it goes really into knowing too much, learning the truths of the world, the laws of equal exchange. It gets crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It shit sounds fucking.
It's a wild anime, but in my opinion, it's the greatest story ever written.
Oh shit!
It's the great. If you want to get back into it, bro, I advise you watch Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Where do you watch it on?
It's on Hulu.
Oh, bet I got.
I think it's on Netflix too.
Oh, bet.
Yeah.
Oh, word. I
gotta use the bathroom.
Go ahead. Fucking bathroom's right here.
All right,
that first door right here.
That first door, yeah. I'm back.
Word. We back. Yeah, man. Fucking, this world is a fucking crazy place.
It is,
and
man.
The older I get, the more I realize, again, the more that I don't know shit. And I'm okay with that. I'll have my opinions on shit.
The world is wild, man, because I done seen people fight over sports teams.
It's just wild, bro.
Like, I'm a
I love sports. So. I love sports. Trust me. But like, I'm not about to fight.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight somebody over. Like, I'm not gonna fight a Celtics fan. Like, you feel me? One of my best friends is a Celtics fan. I'm a Laker fan, so one of my best friends is a Celtics fan. I don't fight him. Me and him just talk shit.
Yeah, for real. But again, that goes back. People will make that shit their personality and shit.
Yeah, they would. They make
the sports team their whole fucking personality and shit. Like, I like the Eagles, but hey, sometimes the Eagles fans are fucking annoying as shit, and they just be like that. It'd be like that. Hey, they're obnoxious, but
just like I'm a Laker fan. Laker fans are annoying as hell too, but it's usually like that with like great franchises. Yeah, you feel me? Like, those are the most annoying fans. Like, the really good franchise.
That superiority complex. It's like, we're the fucking shit. We got the rings. We got the championships. We got the history. Fuck you.
100%. No, 100%. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Whenever I talk to my boy, like, my boy always says the same shit to me because he's a Celtics fan and they have more championships than us. But
by one though only. I mean, it might.
I hate counting that championship because it wasn't against the Lakers, bro. That's why I keep telling you, I'm not going to count it unless they beat us. So I'm praying that we make it. I'm praying. No, not if. When we make it this year.
There you go. Manifest.
No, because we're playing the Celtics in the final. That's a fact. The Celtics are going to blow through that Eastern Conference.
I think so too, but the Lakers, I mean, the West is such a, bro, the fucking Nuggets just fired their head. That was wild to me. If you're going to do that, just wait until the end of the season. Why wait until fucking 10 days before the fucking playoffs? That's just wild.
Did they say why?
I don't think they said like a specific reason. There's a lot of speculation that there was just turmoil between like the front office and the head coach and people. It kind of seemed like there was like some mundane, monotonous, like just like there was just things weren't clicking. They've been on a 4-game losing streak. Jokic just putting up fucking 60-point triple doubles, 40-point triple doubles, and losing and shit like that. But they're still. I think they're in the 4th seed right now, and they still have a chance to be the 3 seed.
The 5th seed right now.
The 5th. So
they went down. Clippers went up.
But there's still a chance with like 3-4 games left to fucking be a 3 seed. And again, for as much as OKC is top of the West right now, like I'm definitely the type of fan that it's like, you did great in the regular season, but now it's prove it time. And when the postseason comes, the Thunder have not been able to prove it yet.
They don't have the experience. And like people, my friend said, how many times are you gonna say it, bro? They only won one. That team has only won one playoff series since they've been together. Yeah. And they've been like the first seed, the last 2-3 years, right?
Well,
I know last year they were.
Yeah, they've been at least top 3 for the past few years. Exactly. Yeah, Shea is fucking nasty as fuck.
No, he's nasty.
But I mean, and it's kind of the James Harden thing that the refs don't really call fouls as much in the playoffs. So you're not getting to the free throw line as much, and you got to play through contact. In the regular season, he's getting to the line 10, 15 times. So, hey, work it. You do what you got to do to get the wins. But like in the playoffs, it's a different game. It's a 7-game series. Like you got to be able to fucking play through physicality and all this shit.
Anthony Edwards said it best. Last year when he made it all the way to the Western Conference, he said, "Bro, I'm tired." Like he said it, and he said because his conditioning wasn't made for him to make it that. Like he wasn't conditioned deep, for that to go that deep. So he's like, "Bro, I'm tired. Like there's nothing else I could do." That's where the experience come in. People like at the end of the day. When you have a player like LeBron James on your team.
Man, I was just about to fucking bring that in. Go ahead.
When you have a player like LeBron James, when you have a player like Stephen Curry that's been there multiple times, bro, they're always there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't count those teams out.
Yeah, I think that's like now that we're moving out of the, LeBron James prime and him going to the finals every year, I think that really just puts into context, even if he didn't win every year, just how amazing that he went fucking 9 times in a fucking row.
Not even just that. The man, the year that they got swept by Denver, right? They were the 7th seed. Mm-hmm. They weren't supposed to make it past the first round.
Yeah.
All right. They made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals. Yes, they got swept by the best player in the league.
Yeah.
All right, but they made it to the Western Conference. No one expected that.
Yeah.
Not only that, did who he beat? He beat who did he beat? Because he beat
they beat the Grizzlies that year.
They beat the Grizzlies first. Then after that they played Curry. They played Golden State. Beat Golden State.
I thought that year that's when they beat him in the playing game. Where he was like, oh, I saw 3 rims and I just shot for the one in the middle. He got fucking poked in the eye or some shit like that.
I don't remember. I remember that was the year that Golden State beat Sacramento. Mm-hmm. That was the year that they beat Sacramento.
Man, that was a good series too.
That was a great
Sacramento
series.
should have won that shit. And then they fucking took a nosedive after that. So.
Yeah, but it was a great series. But at the end of the day, you have when you have a player like LeBron, you have Stephen Curry, they're always in it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That's a team. Like, that's how I feel about Giannis. I love Giannis. All right, Giannis is one of my favorite players in the league. In my opinion, he's probably arguably the most dominant force in the league.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that Milwaukee franchise destroyed that team. After they got rid of Drew Holiday, everything went.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like they probably should have kept him for another year or two, but when it's difficult, and LeBron James fucked this up too. That people are expecting players to play so much longer into their career, and him going to the Celtics, I felt like helped him because he's not as much as of a focal point anymore.
No, yeah,
he's a fourth option on that team. On the Bucks, he's the second option.
Yeah,
because Chris Middleton, he's
Chris Middleton. Me and my friend always say it. Chris Middleton, there's no in between. It's either he's prime Michael Jordan, or he's hurt, or he's trash. You feel me? There's no in between. Yeah. But he'll give you one in a series. Yeah. I always say it. He'll give you one game where he drops 40, 50 points. After that, he's dropping 10, 15 the rest of the series.
But that was the same thing with Jimmy Butler in those 2 finals runs. Is that they got there, but he doesn't have and that was my one thing with Miami, that if they would have gotten like a Dame Lillard or someone that could take more of the offensive load, and then Jimmy can have his 30, 40 point game, fucking 10 assists, whatever. Because in the finals, you would see that he would have such a high game. He'll have 6 points the next game. And he's just, for as great as he is, he's not that great of an offensive player to carry you offensively consistently
for the whole time.
And that it showed twice.
He's not Kobe.
It showed twice in those 2 finals. And if
there's only so much he could do,
right?
And he's playing. It's not like he's playing like scrub teams. That I think one of those years they beat Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken. Then they beat the Celtics. Those were the 2 front runners to win.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's not like he has to really put it all out there. One of those years was the 03 year, right? When they were up 03 and then the Celtics came back and then they won in game 7. Remember that one? Milwaukee was, I think, like
that was the second time they went to the finals.
Yeah, because I remember Miami was the 8th seed that year, and they were playing the Celtics in the Eastern Conference, and they won the first 3 games. Everybody was like, "What the hell?" And then Boston came back, won 3, and then they won the last one. But all right, so speaking of those final runs, right? How do you feel about the bubble?
I think people try to discredit it for the sake of trying to bring LeBron down.
Yeah.
I mean, and you see that. I mean, the fact that a team like Miami, I feel like, especially then, where it's just nothing but basketball, like you don't have any distractions. It kind of really showed like who was really about that shit and who's not.
Yeah, the thing about that whole thing, right, is that a lot of people, like you said, want to discredit LeBron, but the NBA players themselves said that was the hardest.
Yeah,
that was the hardest basketball they ever played. Like, you know what I mean? There's no fans. It's straight hoops.
It's like AAU tournament type shit. Like
exactly. No fans at all. There's no home court advantage. You're just playing ball.
Yep.
No distractions, no nothing.
Yeah.
Literally no distractions because they couldn't go nowhere else but the hotel room and to practice in the games. That's it. So for people to be like, oh, that don't count, that Disney. The season was cut in half. I will give you that.
Yeah.
But even if the Lakers were the number 1 team in the league that year, you know what I mean? That year, and Anthony Davis played his best. That was the best that I seen Anthony Davis play, with LeBron at least. You feel me? I don't count the Pelicans because the Pelican years he was a fucking beast, but he was always hurt.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that Luka trade?
Man, I thought that Dallas might win in the short term because I think they had a more complete team. Now, I mean, they just got fucking beat up by injuries and shit like that. Kyrie's out for the season. People just could not stay fucking healthy. Yeah. So I feel like that kind of, that take didn't age too well. But
I agreed with you too.
Yeah, I don't really think there was a winner and a loser. I mean, because the Mavericks are getting Anthony Davis, which people want to shit on him, and I get it because he kind of did it to himself, but still a fucking great player.
Yeah,
he made the top 75 of all time over Dwight Howard, which I thought was a fucking.
Don't get me started.
That's bullshit. Anyways, but he's still a top player. Like he's great. It's not like Dallas was getting a fucking scrub, and they got that fucking Christie guy, that Max Christie guy. He was playing good. He was playing good for the Lakers then. And again, you already have Kyrie, you have Klay Thompson, that Gafford dude. They had a deeper team already.
Yeah,
the Lakers just had more star power. When you're trading for a talent like Luka, it's obviously it's like, oh shit, like what the fuck, like why would you do that? And, brings up all these questions and shit like that, but.
You know who they don't talk about a lot? That was a good pickup too for the Lakers. Mbah Moute, because we got him in the trade too, and he's a really good defender.
Yeah,
you feel me? He's a really good defender, and like a lot of people don't talk about him, but his what he's been doing on the Lakers has been really good. He's a decent shooter, good defender. Lakers needed defense.
Yeah.
They definitely needed it. I mean, only person that we really had that really carried our defense was AD. Which AD did get snubbed for that defensive player of the year last year, but we're not going to talk about that. But
man, it's wild that he doesn't have one. It's wild that he doesn't have one.
Bro, it's crazy to me. It's really insane to me, bro. I really think that like the Lakers is one of the best franchises in history, but I really do think they're like also the most hated.
Yeah. I mean,
like it's even in the league though, like in the league, people be like, "Oh, the Lakers are no, they're not. They are the most hated franchise in the league, bro." And because
it's either them or Boston.
100%.
I know a lot of people that fucking hate Boston.
Oh, I hate Boston. But I mean,
you're a Lakers fan. I'm talking about people that don't even have. There's no like rivalry, nothing. They're just like, yeah, fuck Boston. I'm like, oh goddamn.
It's just. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just something about don't come at me, Boston. All right, it's something about that city. Because all of their sports teams are great.
Yeah.
And I hate them all. I hate the Reds. I'm not even like a huge baseball fan, but I hate Red Sox fans. All right. Don't get me started about Patriots fans. Oh my God, Patriots fans right there. They piss me off. And then the Celtics. Oh my God, bro. And I hate their freaking colors too. I'm not gonna lie.
The Celtics?
That dookie green. That's what I told my boy.
That diarrhea green.
Yeah, that's what I told
that baby shit green.
Yeah, bro. I hate it, bro. I hate it.
Nah. I mean, I don't really have obviously I'm from here. I'm from Orlando, so I like to see the Magic win. But since I've watched basketball, I want to see LeBron win every year just so they can shut that shit up about fucking who's the GOAT, who's not.
If he wins this year, it's undeniable. I still think it's undeniable.
I mean, I went and saw them when they came to Orlando this year. I went to the game, so that was pretty cool. Finally got to see LeBron James live. That was pretty lit. Saw Luka. It is wild to see how much attention he draws on the court. It is like you see it on TV and all that shit, but to watch it live and to see the amount of game planning and attention that Luka draws that shit's wild to me.
Yeah,
but,
no, 100%. Like I got to see Kobe play. A long time ago. I remember. I'll never forget that day, bro. My dad took me. That was my very first Magic game ever, and I got to see him play. I remember it was the Magic team with we had Hedo Turkoglu, and just watching a player of that caliber, because obviously like in the eras you have Jordan, Kobe, then LeBron, right? Like it literally goes like that. You know what I mean? From our eras at least, you know what I mean? So like at that time, Kobe was the biggest star in the league.
Yeah.
So just watching that, not only just watching him play, but watching how many fans there were, even though they were Magic fans, they were still cheering for Kobe, was crazy to me. You know what I mean? It was just wild to me, man. And like, I really want to see LeBron play before he retires. I'm praying that he comes back one more year.
Hey, shout out to my boy Steven, because he's the one that he got the tickets for us, because my birthday's coming up in a couple weeks, and he's like, hey, and I remember he texted me, it's like, do you mind if I get you an early birthday present? I'm like, nah, I only accept shit on my birthday. Like, nah, bro, go, whatever. Like, and I was just like, just whatever. 12 minutes passed. He sent me the screenshot. He's like, well, I got us Lakers ticket, Lakers Magic ticket. I'm like, my fucking dog. Yeah, shout out
to him, man.
That's my dog. That's my brother. So, but yeah, definitely. It was cool to see him live and shit. But yeah, I just, again, going back to just things that are just kind of undeniable truths, like. The only argument that people can give for Jordan now is the 6 rings. And I don't want to discredit that, but the one thing that is like, rings is a team thing.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a team. And if you want to like break down those things, LeBron did more with a lot less.
Yeah.
The first finals that we were talking about that he went to, no business going there. That 2018 playoff run, that's
the greatest LeBron I ever seen.
Bro, that might be the greatest playoff run, and he didn't even win the chip that year. But that playoff run, he had 3 buzzer beaters.
I know he had 2 in the first round.
He had one against the Pacers. He had that one against Toronto. He had that one against Toronto where he's leaning to the right foot. I'm just like, oh my, yes, bro. Like
there's only one playoff run I could compare to that, and that's the Kawhi Leonard one.
Yeah,
that Kawhi Leonard one was a crazy playoff run. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But even then, like,
it's not LeBron.
LeBron made it look so goddamn effortless. Yeah. That shit looks fucking easy to like. It looked like, this is just what I do. Like, I go to the playoffs, I go to the finals every year. Like, and there's nothing you could do about it. I don't have anybody on my team. I don't have Kevin Love's gonna be hurt. J.R. Smith, whatever. Don't matter. Get on my back.
Thomas wasn't the same Isaiah Thomas as the year before.
Like, come on, hop on my back. I'll take us to the promised land. And they almost stole the first game.
Bro, they made it to the finals. They made it to the finals with Matthew Dellavedova as the starting point guard. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, if Kyrie doesn't get hurt in that first championship finals against the Warriors, the Warriors might not be what they are today. Because then they came back from 3-1 down and they won that. But like, if Kyrie doesn't, and of all things, he fucking broke his kneecap. Like how that shit sounds like it hurts.
Yeah, no,
but like, and Kevin Love was hurt, so it's like I know just the way that things play out. It just seems like everything is always stacked against LeBron.
And J.R. Smith was drunk. J.R. Smith was drunk because I feel like they win that game, they would have changed the whole entire flow of the series. But whatever. But not like that 2018 LeBron, because you know how they always say LeBron has multiple primes. He had like 4 different primes, right? That 2018 year is the greatest Bron I ever seen.
Wow, that shit is
Miami Bron was a beast. Don't get me wrong, he was a beast. I'll never forget. I was watching the game live. I'll never forget the game where he got a cramp. Cause if I'm not mistaken, the AC was broken in the arena.
I remember that game because he was wearing some gray fucking LeBrons. Those shits look fucking clean as fuck with the black unis.
He came out there limping, got the ball, shot the 3, and then sat down the rest of the game and they won, bro. That was crazy. People talk about the Ray Allen shot. The Ray Allen shot was wild. I'm not gonna lie, it definitely was wild. I know, you know what's one of the greatest series I ever watched. One of the greatest series I watch every game. I don't know if you remember. It was LeBron on Miami. It was that Eastern Conference Finals. They played Indiana.
Yeah. Had a buzzer beater in that series too.
Yo, that series was one of the best series I ever watched. That was Paul George at his best.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that was him at his best. That was before the
broken leg.
Yeah.
I mean, he did have that. I think he came like second and third in the MVP in that season with OKC.
Yeah. No, like that was a good year too, but
yeah, but no, PG then year, was fucking.
That year, Indiana would have made the finals if they would have kept Roy Hibbert in the game. I'm not gonna lie to you. They would have made the finals because LeBron wouldn't have drove it.
Yeah. That's kind of what you need against LeBron, somebody that can protect the rim.
Bro, because literally, they took, I remember Frank Vogel took Roy Hibbert out, and I forgot who was in the game. And Paul George overplayed on defense. He spun off of him, went into the league, and fucking laid it up. Yeah, that was, to this day, man. I remember that like it was yesterday, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I remember that like it was yesterday, bro.
Man, having flashbacks right now.
That one and the last Kobe championship. I remember that like it was yesterday. Ron Artest hit that shot.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. That like you mentioned the Ray Allen shot, all that shit. People. Again, moving the goalposts, so hold that against LeBron, but never bring up won't hold it against Michael Jordan, that Steve Kerr hit game-winning shots for them. Won't hold it against Kobe, that Ron Artest hit game-winning shots. They don't hold these things against these guys, but when it's LeBron, it's like, oh, well, Ray Allen won him a championship. Kyrie Irving won him a championship.
There's one blemish on his career, in my opinion. That's I'm not gonna lie, that Dallas.
Oh yeah, I mean, that is
that was the one that I get. Anytime people bring that up, I'm like, all right. Yeah. I feel you. I do feel that.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel that one. I give you that one.
Yeah, but then he ripped off fucking 7 more. He went to 7 more in a row. So it's like, he won fucking 3. Because
I'm not gonna lie, Dallas was supposed to be in those finals.
No, but that's another one. If you want to talk about great playoff runs, Dirk fucking was he was otherworldly. He really solidified himself. I mean, he was already going to be a Hall of Famer. He already had the MVP. He already had the numbers and shit. But getting that ring in the fashion that he did against the team that he won it against, he got the redemption against Miami that beat him in the finals in 06. Just everything that went into that, like that really solidified. Like, all right, like you're all time great now.
And it's crazy too because it's like. Dirk did that right, but it's really crazy how like he's not even a top 2 power forward of all time, in my opinion.
No, I think Tim Duncan's one. Tim Duncan's number 1. Probably KG number 2.
Number 2. And I'm not gonna lie to you, if it wasn't for the injuries, Anthony Davis had that potential. Anthony Davis had the potential to, I think, surpass Tim Duncan as the greatest power forward of all time. Injuries killed him, but
I mean, I think you can make an argument that he's better than KG though, and I love KG, but. Anthony Davis, he has the defense. Obviously, he's not intense and doesn't bring the same aura, but he is also, I think, he's a more polished offensive player than
100%.
Than KG.
He used to play point guard in high school?
Yeah, and then he grew like fucking 7 inches. He's like, all right, that's not crazy. A thing anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. That game winner that he hit too in the bubble was crazy.
Yeah.
That's a crazy game winner.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, the same with music. It's the same with sports. Like, all the people want to talk shit and all this stuff, but like, these are all fucking great athletes. None of us can do any of that shit at all. So it's like, yeah, we have our takes and shit, but like,
I always say athletes are the closest things we have to superhumans. I'm not gonna lie to you.
For sure.
You feel me? They're the closest thing we have to superhumans. So,
bro, some of the shit that they do is fucking, and I play sports, and I was a pretty decent athlete in my time, but like, you know, you start seeing like, you know, who is who, just, and not even just off of anything, but just pure athleticism. Like, oh my God. Like, I thought I was athletic, and it's like, nah, like, that is fucking,
like, there's a reason why he made it to the pros.
Yeah, real shit. And like, like I said, like, I was decent, you know, I had schools looking at me and shit, and, you know, I was a little bit of an athlete, but then you start seeing like the pure athletes and shit. It's like, I played all types of sports. In high school, I only played football, but I ran track. I played soccer. I was on a swim team. I did taekwondo. Okay. I did a lot of different shit, but football was probably the sport that I excelled in the most.
What position?
But so by my senior year, I was playing everywhere, but mostly outside linebacker, DN. I played safety. I played some running back. I was in some tight end sets. I mean, like I said, I was able to get away with a lot of stuff, and I only played. I started playing football, like organized football, my freshman year. Yeah. My mom would not let me play, and it took me and my stepdad both, like, please just let me fucking play. Like, oh my God, like,
I feel that.
And finally she let me play, and like I said, you know, in 4 years in high school, I played pretty well. I excelled pretty well. If I would have kept my grades up a little bit more, I would have gone to a bigger school. But, you know, once you get into college, you start realizing the grind and the dedication that it takes to do it. And I'm like, damn, I love football, but I don't know if I love it that much.
Yeah, no.
Like, if it was just straight, like, just straight football, then that would have been a different story. But then also having a balanced school and fucking class and all this shit, I'm like, oh man, like,
I bet, man. Like it's crazy too, because it's like, I always think about that. I'm like, man, being like a student athlete has got to be one of the hardest things ever. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, it's got to be difficult. Like, obviously when you become pro, it gets hard too. It's hard too, but
you're dedicating your life just to that sport.
Yeah, exactly. You feel me? So like, that's all you have to.
Like, you don't have to balance the fucking because now that sport is your work. You know, like, in college, like, you have the sport, but then you also have to go to school, and not so much with the one and dones in basketball, and not so much now with the NIL and all this shit that you're getting paid in football and all this shit, but like, and more so in football, because you have to go to school for 3 years. There has to be a level of like, you have to be somewhat of a student. You can't just completely not go and like just be a fucking.
Exactly. I mean, you can't play. You can't play if you don't. Right. Yeah, exactly.
So and I think, and because I watch soccer too, and I'm a big soccer fan, and how they do it over in Europe, like, they have their academies to the professional teams, which I think we should adopt. And it's easier said than done, but I do think we should adopt something more of that system, because, like, again, like.
Yeah, like the NBA kind of has something like that now with the G League.
But even then, like, it's still, you know, you still have to. I think it's more beneficial to go to college than it is to go to the G League 100%. Still, which, you know, there's debate around it, but I just think get the kids early, especially nowadays that like everything's so specialized. Yeah. Like, if you're not playing a sport by a certain age, and obviously there's exceptions, if you're not playing a sport by a certain age or getting into a sport by a certain age, like, very, very, and there's already very slim chance that you're going to, you know, make it pro or anything. But like, now the percentages are so small, or it's much smaller, because like everything is so specialized now. Like, you're getting these kids so early, getting them in, you know, getting them into a sport, and then keep them in that sport, fucking trainers, the nutrition, the medicine behind it and all that shit. Like, I think we need to, and just the way that the world's going, like, listen.
I definitely agree with you, because like, look at it like with the European players. Mm-hmm. They're already playing professional. Like, Luka was playing professional at what, 15, 16 years old? Winning MVPs already. Obviously, he's going to make it to the league. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I do agree with you, like, having like, all right, you said like an academy with soccer, right? Or like having like a specific, I mean, you have the G League, but like the G League is mixed with other NBA players that are not, you know what I mean? I feel like having like that, like a league or somewhere where you can bring the kids to, And like, if they want to focus on this, like focus on it. You know what I mean?
And
like,
still teach classes and like financial literacy stuff and things like that. But you know, fucking math class and all this shit and fucking science. Like most of the athletes aren't even going to school. Like they're usually taking like business classes. Like that's what they're majoring in, or like some type of criminal justice thing. Like just offer those, because like, you know, you have those outliers. Like there was that safety for FSU back in the day, for Myron Rolle, that he was like a Rhodes Scholar and like he was fucking smart as shit, and like he was a fucking like doctor performing surgeries and still fucking balling out on the field. And like, so like there's those outliers, but like most of these guys that are playing sports are not, you know, they're gonna do something, they're gonna major in something that's gonna be able to make them money afterwards. So like,
Damian Lillard finished school while in the league. He was a one and done. Went into the league and then finished school while he was in the league. You feel me? I feel like it should be that way. You feel me? But like LaMelo had that whole league that he created of bums, and he was cooking them the whole time. Yo, that is the funniest thing to me, because LeVar created a league for LaMelo, because the league, I don't even think the league exists anymore. Created a league just for LaMelo to ball out on a whole bunch of bums. You feel me?
He ended up going to fucking Europe for a little bit, and then he went to Australia for a season, right?
Yeah. He was cooking, man.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, again, you just like you know, doing all this extra shit. I feel like is just,
it's wild. Yeah,
it's too much. Like it's like what's the point? Like it's just, you know, you're adding extra stress already to an already stressful situation. I agree, you know, so, but. Man, shit, easily. We almost got 2 hours in, but I gotta fucking eat, cook dinner, get ready for tomorrow, dog. Man. But no, this was fucking great. We definitely gotta do this again sometime. You know, whenever you want to come on, let me know and we'll fucking make it happen. You got any music dropping soon? You doing any tours? You know, plug yourself up, whatever you gotta.
I'm probably gonna drop like an EP in the summertime and everything. Word. But you know, y'all can follow me at Tony Rozaye, Tony.Rozaye, Rozaye spelled Rozaye.
There you go. Man, I appreciate it. This was a good time. I'm glad we linked up. It's fucking great conversation.
Yeah.
You have a great mind. You make fucking unique music to you. You know what you're doing. This is episode 208 of the No Hangover podcast. As always, fucking like, subscribe, comment, fucking rate. Let me know what you think. Interact with us on Instagram at No Hangover Podcast. Everybody love everybody. Deuces.
Hey.
Good shit, dog.
Yeah, man.